And sometimes they do, and that's even scarier. It's almost better when I don't know what's going on. It's been quite a while since I've looked at the future. I can't look in that direction without that hurts. Like, or I know that it's something that I shouldn't even do. That it's a meaningless. That pursuit has lost meaning to me. That the future doesn't exist. So then people ask me questions that involve that kind of thinking, and it fucks me up. And like, as a functioning member of society, you need to answer those questions. The amount of cognitive dissonance that I engage in every day is... If I have a superpower, that's what it is. That I believe all things, and most of those things contradict one another. I also try to live like radically honest. So being radically honest about believing all things is just like trying to inflict what is classified as a mental illness upon other people. And so that lines up with the Thelema stuff, resolution of conflicts, and trying to craft your being to navigate that. So yeah. And I don't know, the more you do it, the weirder shit gets. And it all adds up to zero. Like, there's nothing here. Like, everything's here. There's nothing here. It's very bright and it's very dark. I am bathed constantly in perfection, and I always feel a pressure to end my life. Like, just the wildest extremes coexisting. I am God and I am a person. I am the microcosm and the macrocosm. Actually doing that fucking hurts. It's hard. The news cycle is hard. That shit's actually happening. It's real. It's real compared to what? None of us have a frame of reference that's outside of this. So we're like trapped in this bottleneck, or there was that one philosopher, he calls everything a prison or whatever. Okay, the world's a prison. What the bars of the cage is language and art and nature and the totality of your experience. And the control is exerted upon us by the language. That we're not, like in Brave New World, or no, in 1984, the whole new speak thing, that is and has always been occurring to us. It's not like, oh, what if they started taking words away from us? No, no, we don't have some. We're like missing important words that let us do other things. And writing them or speaking them isn't how they're utilized. They're thought. There's stuff that exists just in thought. Like physicality is just part of what we do. And I don't go anywhere. Like, besides dreaming, I don't leave here. There's no respite. But once again, dreams are part of your experience. It's not a separate, like, oh, something that just doesn't exist. No, you experience them. How could, what are you, there are people that are dismissive of dreams being substantial is like, man, what? Was it the one meme that I was dying? Like it was like a soy jack ranting about what the explaining what a dream is, and a wizard leans over and is like, listen, dreams are fucking real, okay? Me dying. They are. And this world is a dream of sorts. And you can get lead time on generating the dream that you live in. And you do that by making good decisions. Like the whole karma takes additional lifetimes. I think that may have been true in the past, or that's a useful semantic tool to justify bad things happening to good people. But I've seen more evident, like the path I've walked, it all happens simultaneously. Like I see evidence of that for me personally. I'm not saying that that's what happens to everybody, but that's what I've seen. And it's terrifying because I've fucked up a lot and I have to make amends for all those things. And that's part of what these videos are about, is like me trying to make amends for all the atrocities that I've committed in my lifetime. This is a penance. I don't particularly enjoy this. They make me cry a lot. That part's kind of okay. Like when I watch them, I fucking break down, and I think that's how I grow. That's how I actually learn shit and do better. But it's not always. This is another thing that I've been struggling with. It's not, do better is fucking loose as shit, and it's not easy to tell the things that we're supposed to be doing better. One of the a strange example, I'd been off alcohol for about 7 years, and one day I was just like, you know what? I'm over this. I'm a grown man. If I want to have a glass of wine with dinner, I should be able to do that. And so far, so good. I think the most I've had is 2 drinks in a day, or maybe 2.5. I did that once or twice, and having them back to back is not good. I don't like how 2 drinks makes me feel. Now, if I have 1 drink and then let it wear off and have another drink, I'm cool on that. But Um, I have a lot of trauma associated with alcohol. That many of the horrible things I've done in my life were while I was drinking. But I can't laden or like abstinence is cheating. Watts, here's another Wattsism, is putting a vehicle in a garage and leaving it there, showing mastery over that vehicle? Or do you have to take the vehicle out of the garage and drive it around to demonstrate mastery? So, that's where I'm at with the drinking. So, like, yeah, being perfect isn't, hey, I'm never gonna have a drink again. Also, yeah, I think I may have mentioned this one, that True Detective, the one line, man, Russ Cole was based off of me. That's can I get some royalties for using my likeness on that? When the one dude says to him, or somebody offers him a beer and he declines, and they say back, hard to trust a man who can't trust himself around a beer. And that fucked me up. That hurt. And like, I went and lived like another year or two after that without drinking. But it was in the back of my head like, dude, you're such an asshole for just, I don't know. But also, like, I need to exercise caution, because when I'm an alcoholic, that costs at least $10 a day, and I don't have another $300 a month in my budget. And I act like a terrible person when I'm an alcoholic. So, like, I can't let that happen again. Another thing, here's a spoiler. If you never read The Dark Tower, I want to talk about The Dark Tower a lot. It deserves its own episode, or 3 or 7 or 9. I relate to that story so much. My family looks, our demographics line up. Melissa's a black woman who's older than me. I'm Eddie Dean, the white guy drug addict. And Hudson kind of lines up with Jake. And I think I'm rolling too. I know what it looks like inside the fucking tower. Watching Hellier, what those guys are talking about, 37th parallel or what? That's the beam. That's the beam in the tower. Okay, we need to support the beams, because if they fall, our world will fucking crumble. And the world does rest on the back of a tortoise shell. His name is Maturin. This is spoilers. Let me clarify that last one a little better. If you have not read The Dark Tower, I would suggest skipping this, because this will spoil the 4,500 pages that came before it. But in the end, we find out that Roland's mission was never to save the tower. All he wanted to know was what was inside. And he found out, and he was teleported back to the beginning of his story. And I relate to that so much. And I can explain it to you. I would assume that most people, when they live their life, that they do so with a sense of their own mortality. And I started out that way too. I mean, as a kid, you don't have a sense of mortality until you experience the death of a pet. And then you're like, oh shit, things die. But, so, I think, and people are correct for thinking this way. This is not me throwing shade. That once you know that you're going to die, you're like, oh shit, I should do the things that I want to do before I die. And I think people do that. And I think that's right. And I fucked up. I did it the wrong way. And it wasn't necessarily the wrong way, it was just the way I did it. And what happened was, so one of the symptoms or traits of somebody with autism or on the spectrum is that they'll latch on to a topic and take it as far, get as deep as they can. And the topic I latched on to was, why do I exist? Is there a God? What should I do with my life? Is there something after life? I wanted to know. I wanted to know everything.